Tristan, here's your video from last night. Let's take a look and see how we're doing. It looks like we're progressing pretty nicely in some areas. In some areas, it's going back a little bit, taking a step back. But let's just take a look here and see how we do with our first movement as compared to other times, how much of that body. So when the front leg gets up, I want to see how far the body's on the inside of that line. Pretty good. I see a little bit of an angle of a leg there. We could probably get a little bit more, but remember, as that leg comes up, here's where we want to activate the hips. So you got to start thinking a little bit of a fall, just a little bit of a push, like you do when you're doing the sled routine. As your leg is coming up, you're pushing the weight back. Last night, the tension in the cord or the strap that was around you loosened up a little bit, which was showing me that you were dropping first and then driving. So we want to kind of drop and drive at the same time. So just try to remember to keep that in your mind as you're doing your skills this week. Because as the front leg lifts, here's where I want to see some momentum forward and down, and it just kind of looks like we're going down. All right. Let's keep that, consistent as we can so that we're actually moving forward. So if I draw a line here, and I draw a line where your hips get the lowest, let's draw a line from the center to the center of your body. Let's see how closely you stay to the center of this line. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, let's track the stomach. So here's the middle of your stomach right here. And how far down that line? Okay, so you see how you sink. So again, just, something that you have to build a memory for. You just have to try to think about forward momentum and downward momentum at the same time. In fact, if you think forward first, it'll work out for you. You've got to activate that foot a little sooner, activate this hip a little sooner as the leg is reaching its full height. So this has to happen as the leg is coming up, or else it's just not going to work. You can't do it when you're already coming down. It's just too hard to come down because you want to drop the knee when you come down. So as your leg is coming up, that's where we push out, and then you drop down. Okay, that's the sequence. Let's move you out. Oh, another indicator here that the front leg, again, remember how to keep this front leg nice and loose? Well, it won't stay loose if it's going to push out. So watch the movement of your foot. It never really rocks back because you don't really get those hips to move out first. So it's not going to react to the hips. It's just going to take over. So right there, most of your momentum right here is just going to come off the front leg until you really now push with the back leg. So here's where you do a really good job. You do a good job getting into some triple extension. Watch, the ankle, the knee. I can actually see here a little bit of acceleration from here to here. There's an acceleration of leg speed, which is popping open your hip. So watch how you get decent hip and shoulder separation, because there's a hip and here's a shoulder. The elbow is still behind the shoulder or behind the trunk, and your hip is already starting to move forward. At the point where your hips are completely open, which is about right here, your arm is not in line with your hip like it used to be. Your arm is still behind. It could be behind more, but the idea is that you're getting this. So keep up the good work. Make sure when you're doing your med throws that you're getting that stretch in here. You're throwing very late. You're moving the hips out, and everything is reacting and going backwards and then going forwards. Those are really key to do because it's just building that motor skill, and I can see the development happening right now, right before our eyes, so it's good. So let's see what you look like at front foot plant. Here you are. So you got the toe a little bit open, so that's still something that you want to keep in the back of your mind and work on that during the week. We've got the head. So if your belt buckle is here, face is out a little bit, but it's not too bad. Let's see where your face is back here. So if I draw a line from your belt buckle to your chin, see how your face is out in front of that line? We want to keep that face back more. So that's something that we want to consider working on too, because when you get to landing, your trunk is tilted forward a little bit. It's not really too bad though. Just want to get the idea of not leading with the head. Lead with the hips and drive with the back leg. And I think also the elbow that comes up really high in the back is causing a little bit of that front shoulder to dip down this way. So the head wants to go down with the front shoulder because your elbow's up high. That's something we'll work on in the near future. But good job powering out. So I can see a little back ankle extension here. I can see the knee turning and extending pretty quickly. I see the hips popping open and the elbow is back there. Look at how far back the elbow is there. And the hips are moving. So you've got some counter rotation there, which is great. Got some hip and shoulder separation. When we land the front foot, if we brace up this knee, the knee looks pretty good. We get an angle on there. At about a 126, not bad. You used to be out here more. Now you're back here. But if we can continue to extend this back now at this point, so that we're at even a bigger angle, that will really thrust this chest, that'll thrust the chest right over. All right, let's take a look here, a couple more things. Brace up that front leg, brace up the hip, at full external rotation, the angle of your chin, trunk lean. Not bad, about 61. In the next 9 weeks or so, I want you to be down in the mid to upper 50s. And then at ball release, let's see what your chin is there, 52. Let's get you down to the mid 40s by the next 9 weeks. That's all going to happen as a reaction to the back leg drive and the front leg drive. Remember, both legs have to drive. This leg's driving forward. This leg's driving backwards. The reaction of that is boom, this is going to fly straight over. So when we get to ball release, your chest is out in front of your knee, which is very good. See how far out your chest is? Your chest will be out even further if this knee is pushed back in this direction more. Okay, so let's recap. Want to get that first movement as that leg is getting there. Now we want to start pushing forward, and then as you start pushing forward, the body will drop nicely to lower the center of gravity. With that comes the reaction of the leg just being nice and relaxed, and it will swing back a little bit for you. We want to make sure that this heel stays down all the way as long as we can. You do a good job keeping that down mostly until about right there, which is a little early, but not too bad. Good angle of the leg in line with the hip is getting closer and closer. When we get that momentum better, that'll get even better. Okay, so what are you going to work on this week? Work on first movement momentum, keeping that foot down, driving hard, and bracing up. We're working on leg power, and we're working on, again, also, the other thing you need to work on is that hip and shoulder separation timing that we did in our lesson, okay? All right, continue to work hard. Hip and shoulder separation, timing of the hips, and then popping the arm up. So you're going to, boom, the leg goes, the ankle kicks, and the arm pops up. And we want to brace up that front leg. All right,